suppose, Penny, that's where you could come in.
Yeah.
In the drought times, what was it like? Could you take us through what it was like with the wildlife
It was
in the conservation?
devastating. It was devastating. I was involved in supply of animal health and veterinary products. So I'd known Rob for many years by then, and learned a lot about cattle management, and which also involved the wildlife management as well. And when the cattle managers, Rob, and the bigger producers like Rob, had to destock their cattle, they had to slaughter them, send them to cold storage, and then the calves, some of the ranchers, slaughtered their cattle, fed them to the crocodiles, and then I just thought, what can I do as Penny Havnar? What can I do to do something to save? I can't go to the world and say Penny Havnar's saving cattle. So I decided to start on the wildlife, and it was initially with the hippo. And I started feeding hippo in 6 major river systems. I later went out and not realizing to the extent that this project was going to go. And it eventually ended up an international fundraising project that became bigger.
So when you say feeding the
Operation
hippo,
Nova,
obviously because of the drought there was no food sources for the hippo.
it was, if you can imagine, no grass on the ground, no leaves on the trees, and now no water in the rivers, and very little surface water. But where we started initially was on Samba Ranch, on Therese and Gary Wolf's ranch, and feeding the hippo there. Therese had started feeding, but it became so massive, the feeding of the hippo, that she needed help.
So
and that's where I started.
How many hippo did
She started with, I think,
supporting?
three or four to begin with, but it wasn't long before there
they-
were over 30 hippo, and that's where we did the initial capture of hippo. We were in those, and that was the first capture that we did as Save Our Wildlife Heritage. And that was unusual as well, because Clem could see who did the capture. Not many people had actually moved hippo because they're extremely difficult animal to capture, but Clem devised a brilliant, with Gary, a brilliant capture method.
And can you take us through that capture method?
It was, they built a boma that was very similar to a cattle boma with heavy logs. It had to be